Good morning. This is Bren Sheehan in beautiful San Francisco with Bonner Domainer Magazine. I'm here today with Ron Jackson for the 2008 Domainer Yearbook. Ron, obviously, my first question is, what do you do?
Well, I do a number of things in this industry. I actually came in and to invest in this space, to acquire a domain name portfolio and to monetize it in a number of ways, the same way that many people do through pay-per-click revenues, but also to build websites on it was an idea, and I do some buying and selling. But the whole business kind of changed for me less than a year after I came into it. Because as I came in and started meeting people in the industry, I found out there were so many fascinating personalities who had had great entrepreneurial success in the business. And I had actually come into it from a journalistic background. So as I met these people, I said, what great stories. I'm going to go find who's telling these stories. I want to learn more about this guy I met today at lunch or whatever. So I would do a search online, and I couldn't find anything about them. There were very few news resources devoted to domains at that time, which was in early 2002 when I came along. So I thought, I'm going to just put like a hobby site online so I can tell these stories of these great entrepreneurs. And I never expected it would develop into any kind of business. For me, the idea was if I told their story, it would give me an opportunity to pick their brains and learn so that I could become a more knowledgeable domain investor and do better that way. So that's how it started, and we picked someone like about once a month, and I'd put a story online, and I'd learn, and so for me, it was fulfilling everything I wanted it to fulfill. But then after we had done it for, I guess we were maybe 4 or 5 months down the line, one of the big companies in the space approached us and said, we'd like to advertise on there. Would you send us your media kit? And I'm thinking, yeah, except then mentally I'm thinking, I don't have a media kit.
What's a media kit?
Yeah. So now I'm in trouble. I said, I want to be tied up the rest of the day, but I'll get it over to you first thing in the morning. So then I'm home at night typing, what should I charge? I had no idea.
Fake it till you make it.
Exactly, and that's exactly what we did. So, the next day I gave them a figure and said we can do this for that, and they go, wow, that's really cheap. And I'm thinking, oh, I really screwed up here. But anyhow, we sold that first ad, and so that was just kind of like a little bonus. Again, I'm not thinking much of it, but then another came, and another came, and another came. So after probably a year or two, it had developed into a business that had taken maybe 10% of my time, then a quarter, then a half, then 3/4. And within the past couple of years, it's just become a full-time thing, and I no longer have much time to research domains to buy a lot. Well, I don't need to. I have like 7,000, so I should get out now while the getting is good, because that's enough for anyone to manage in a lifetime.
Certainly. Now that you brought up 7,000 domains, let me ask you, what was the first domain that you bought, and do you still own it?
I do, but the very first domain I bought was in 1997, before I even knew there was any such thing as a domain industry or what would happen. I bought it as an end user because at that time I was in the music retail business, and I wanted to put our catalog online. So I registered musicparadise.com back in those days, and it was very successful. The website allowed us to get rid of a lot of very expensive national advertising for our mail order business, and all of a sudden you could do it for the cost of a hosting account on a domain. You could take a tiny ad in a magazine, which was much less expensive. Give them your web address. They go there, and I think we cut expenses by about 80% in those days, while sales more than doubled. So that was always in the back of my mind, the power of the web. So when the internet came along and basically wiped out our music business and thousands of other music retailers as kids started downloading music, burning CDs, I had to look at something else to do, and the power of the internet stuck in my mind. And that's when I started doing research in '02, stumbled upon this business, and thought this is a business that's going to go places.
Unbelievable. Now, my question is, with 7,000 domain names, are you trading these? Are you selling them? I mean, are you a buy and hold?
I think like a lot of guys who assemble large portfolios, everything that I picked, I had an idea in mind for it, how that site could be used. And so it was kind of a thing where you knew the land itself was valuable, so you would have time to develop it down the line. The most important thing was to buy the land at good prices while you could get it. So that's why I assembled the large portfolio. At a certain point, you get to so many, you suddenly realize, there's no way in my lifetime I'm ever going to be able to develop these ideas in the way that I would have liked. So then you start selling some off that it's like almost like selling a child. You don't want to let any of them go, but some that someone can make better use of. Maybe that's not on your top priority list. You'll sell some of those off. There are other ways, of course, now to monetize the bulk of the portfolio. You can park them. There's affiliate relationships and that sort of thing. So I take advantage of all of that. And again, DN Journal now takes most of my time. But I'd love to do other projects as well, because you always have these ideas floating around in your head what they could be.
And that's pretty much my next question. I mean, where do you see yourself in a few years, and what are your goals and aspirations?
Well, you know, that's an answer I could have answered really easily not too long ago. But after what happened with DN Journal taking off the way that was not in my plans at all. Someone quoted a Mark Twain quote, and I don't remember the exact quote, but it's something about your best laid plans being disrupted by life or whatever, you know. So I have an idea, but whether what I'd like to do next, but whether or not that I'll ever have time to do it, or life's going to yank me in another direction, I don't know. So I've kind of given up on trying to predict where it's going to go and just kind of ride with the flow and see what happens.
Right with the flow. Well, Ron, thank you so much for your time and your insightful answers for the 2008 Domainer Yearbook. This is Bren Sheehan at the beautiful W Hotel, San Francisco.